And hello to all my Leo friends. I would like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for March 2022. Now today they've dialed up for you a Celtic Cross spread. It is a big spread, quite encapsulating. It goes a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future. It's really good for general readings because it focuses mostly on what's going on right now with a little bit of leniency. Also is the only spread that I do that captivates the actual environment. It brings it right into the mix. It talks about what's going on around you, whether it's at work or home or what. Very interesting spread, lots to talk about there. They've also asked that I conclude your reading with a chakra scrub. Now this is a very popular one this month. Spirit has put out that we are doing 5 of these. 5 of my signs, almost half of my audience is getting a chakra scrub. So very important stuff that they do not want you to miss, Leo. So we're going to get into all of that. Very interesting stuff. The cards are already shuffled. We'll get into it right now. We will waste no more time. I'm going to bring you in right now so you can watch. Go ahead and hit the like button if you're ready to have a great March. And we are on. These right here are my ritual cuts. I like to do them live and on camera every single time. Basically cuts the decks into 3 different pieces, puts them back together in a separate order, and then we're ready to go. And here we go with the Celtic Cross for Leo. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is what's behind you, the recent past. This is what's in front of you, the near future. This is what's above you, something you're aware of. This is what's below you, something you're not. I'm going to move the camera so you guys can see better. This is a tall spread, so it gets kind of out of the way of the widescreen a little bit there. Now we got running up the sides here with 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let me check a few things. Inverts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good distribution there. That will stay the same. So these cards are done. And then Oracle Angel cards. Do I need any of those? One here. The rest is good. Okay. At least this phase of your reading, you guys are making easy on me, Leo. So this is what we got. Let me show you here. What can you see? What can you not see? You can see the bottom. Okay, so this is going to be 7, 8, 9, and then 10. This is where the month ends. Then you see your main cross over here. You can see the bottom card. You can see the top card. There we go. Let's get to work because we got to do your chakras too. Turn off. There we go. Okay, Leo. No time like showtime. You know, this is not going to be for everybody right off the bat, but they're starting swinging here. Just saying that some of my Leos are going through some hard stuff right here. Really, really early. I'm probably not telling you anything new. This is if you're one of those Leos who is not somebody going through a hard time right here, some level of heartbreak, even like very mental oriented heartbreak here, that's wonderful. At least this first part of the message is just not for you. This is mostly for my Leos who are going through something real rough right here, a real rough patch. They want to let you know that what crosses you is hard work, so that, you know, this is something you got to chop out. This is not something that's going to be easy or quick or something that is going to just clear up on its own if you just leave it alone. This is something you got to will yourself through and work through. So that lets those people know, those Leos in my audience who are going through this part of where the Celtic Cross starts, even though it's very specific and not for everybody, how to get out of it. So it's very important advice there. And also, you know, for the rest of my Leos, it presents itself as a really good time to learn new things. Also, you know, like I said, get to work. It's a good opportunity to either make money or learn to make, you know, learn new knowledge that would help you make more money, right? So that's very much where we start for March. It presents a good opportunity to get out of any kind of funk that you're in right off the bat. As we move into the past position here, they bring up big money. So a lot of you have either received a big chunk of money. It could be tax related. It could be something else. But you know, it usually presents itself as a large little piece there. And I don't like the past position that much in the Celtic Cross because there's not a lot I can tell you to do with it. You know, besides validation, it doesn't do much, you know, because we can't go back and change it, you know. So there it is. That's what they talk about there. In your future position, much more interesting one because this is coming up relatively soon, with between now and usually the end of the month, or maybe a little bit into April. But they're talking about great impatience that's going to come up, so you are going to really you're going to be tested here, long story short, and you need to kind of step up and be patient. They're saying that Leos are going to have a tendency to have a complication here, struggle with being patient, real easy to get kind of thrown out of whack. They're letting a lot of Leos know that it's actually time to go. It's time to move on from something here. It doesn't mean right now, but very, very soon this is coming in. They put this in the future position for a reason, and they brought up time to go. It's my only angel oracle card here in the entire spread, so they want to focus on this quite largely. Very important stuff. Time to go. So the timing is right. Whatever it is that you're trying to do here, and it's probably something that you don't necessarily enjoy, because if you enjoyed it, why would they be saying impatient? Unless it's just something you've been waiting forever to do, and then finally it's time to just pull the trigger and go. But that's coming up very strongly. So we're going to talk more about that kind of energy in the moon cycles. But first, let me finish the rest of your main cross. The above position here, they're talking about something that you are already aware of, and that is that your love corner needs nurturing. It needs energy. It needs attention. This is not the month to slack and leave kind of the family hanging or the friends hanging. This is the month that you got to get in it. You got to be in it to win it. You need to nurture this, just like a mother nurtures her child. Same energy, same concept coming in here. That's what I need my Libras to do. They're saying most of you are already aware of this, that the family needs it right now, or maybe this is a carryover where your past month or so has been very busy with work or these other areas of your life, and the family has just maybe not gotten the energy that it needs. So this is the month where you revert the energy back into your love corner, your partner and your family. If you're single, you still have a love corner. It's your family and your close friends. So very much, they're saying you're aware of that. So just make sure, even though you're aware of it, that you still need to act on it. You still need to do something about it. So good time to spend with family and friends in the month of March. Something below, this is something that you're not aware of. It's one of the most interesting cards for me in the Celtic Cross, because we're telling you something you're not aware of. So it's completely like, whoa, okay. Really need to sell something here. They're talking about two different definitions of this card, but for most of my Leos, this is going to be actual purging energy. Get rid of something. Usually this is something where you make money getting rid of it. It could just be like donating, and it could be, just getting rid of something and purging it out of your life. But usually this is more of a big return that you get out of it. It's just like if you were to sell a car or sell an old hobby set or something, something that you can repurpose or do something else with the money. It usually has to do with money. So this is selling something. If you've been considering selling something large, March would be a really good time to do that. This is Spirit's way of telling you that you got the green light to go ahead with that. Now let's get into your moon cycles right away, because there's so much stuff that I am talking about here that lines up with those. And I like to give you guys the moon cycle forecast every single month, just so you know what's coming. On March 2, March 2nd, this is right at the beginning when most of you are checking out this video. That's a perfect time to bring anything new into your life. It doesn't matter if it's in the love corner, the work, you're trying to do something new with work or with health. All that stuff fits much better toward the beginning of March rather than the middle or the late side of March. And it doesn't even matter what you bring in at all. It's just going with the flow of those energies. Now let's say it's something you got to get out of your life, like we just talked about here, that purging energy or selling something. Let's say you need to sell a car, okay, just to give you an example. The full moon energy is so much better for that. Something that you got to get out of your life and it's just got to be gone. Full moon, March 18th. It doesn't have to be on the 18th, just anywhere right around the middle of the month, third week or so. They're much prime opportunities exist there. Let me give you an example. If you were trying to sell like the car early in the month, maybe you'd get less for it. Maybe you'd have some lowball offers going on, or maybe you wouldn't sell it at all. Or maybe if you just waited till the full moon, the purging, get rid of it energy, you would just get more from it, or you reach the right buyer or something like that. So this is just the flow of the universe, the way things come in and out. So that's a very, very major thing with the full moon energy. Now, if the moon cycles are something that confuses you or you're not quite sure of, I've put together a little resource guide to help you guys out. It's absolutely free. It's called my Moon Cycle Cheat Sheet. It goes through the first half of this year, so through June. It's a resource tool that you can use to kind of see how this works and visualize. It's like a visual aid to show you how this stuff what comes in, what goes out, and so forth. And that's free just by signing up for the newsletter. If you're already signed up for the newsletter, you don't have to do anything. You're going to get it with the newsletter for March. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, no issue. Just do it right now. It's at the very bottom of my website. The newsletter section to sign up, it's right at the bottom. You enter your first name, your last initial, your email address, and you send that off. And then I send you back your moon cycle cheat sheet. And you can refer to that through June. And use that to initiate positive change in your life. Very important. So let's move on to the rest of your cross here. That's your main cross. Let's move into the kind of running up the sides here with 7, 8, 9, and 10. Number 7 is, here they're talking about your advice column. This is a very strong work message coming in very, very early in March. So I'm going to go back to the moon cycles just very briefly. If there's something that you guys have been wanting to do with work, or there's some kind of major change going on with work, and you're just kind of trying to time this, here they're giving you the advice to time it early in the month. Even if you're getting rid of a job, and I just talked about full moon energy here, this might be placed a little on the earlier side of that. So maybe, like the 10th or something like that. So it's coming in very, very early. We have a work correspondence. What that's going to mean for you is going to be different for everybody. A lot of Leos tuning in, and it's a general reading, but long story short, it's on the first half of March. Very important work correspondence, and they want, that's part of the advice, is that they want you to pay attention to this and act accordingly when it comes in. Next we have external influence. This is the area around you. So it's kind of like a recovery mode, really. So I don't know if that means that you're actually recovering. Could be from something physical, like if you hurt yourself. Obviously, that's a lesser definition for like lesser of my audience, but it still comes up. It's a general reading, so I have to give you it all. Okay, so this could be you recovering, or this could be the area around you recovering. Let's say you just had to get new carpet, and the house is a mess. It's in recovery mode, right? That would be the environment that you have to deal with, because now your house is like upended and you got, crazy stuff going on, trying to put it back together and so forth. So this is the environment in a recovery mode. And it could be your environment at work in a recovery mode. It could be like I said, your home, or, anywhere really. But that's what they're talking about here. They're talking about getting things better, overcoming something that has been, kind of turned around or upside down or flipped around, just kind of out of place, and really kind of putting it back together. That's what they show for March. So very good stuff there. Also a good time to finish projects in March, especially with the home. As we move up to 9, this is hopes and fears. This is a fear. This is not a hope. So this is kind of a fear of theft, loss, or being deceived. That's what they say a lot of Leos are concerned with in the month of March. If this is not you right now, remember that this reading is for the entire month. And this might be something that happens later in the month too, if you're disconnecting from it right now. So, you're welcome to come back and check out the reading when it actually hits you specifically. But this being a fear, and this being a suit of swords, the 7 of swords here. Swords are mental, they're cerebral. It's a very mental suit. Sometimes it's illusionary. It's not even real. So this is a fear that you're worrying about that is completely fake. Perhaps, it doesn't mean be stupid about it. It doesn't mean just leave your house unlocked and your car unlocked and leave your possessions laying around. It does not mean that. But it means that, just be smart. Just be smart about this, and don't give it energy when it's not necessary, because otherwise you're going to end up attracting it. For example, if you're worried about being mugged all the time, or if you're worried about, more simple example would be like somebody breaking in your car. If you're worried about somebody breaking in your car, and that's all you think about like every day, it's going to end up happening, because that's what the thought you're putting out into the universe is, somebody's going to break into my car, somebody's going to break into my car. And you put that out there enough times, eventually the universe is going to put it together and be like, okay, well, I guess, so-and-so wants somebody to break in their car. Here's somebody that wants to break into a car. Here's the two alignment of the paths. Okay, and then it happens. So that's how you end up drawing in the negative thing. So it's important just not to give that energy at all, if that's a fear of yours. Now, that was an example of theft and kind of loss. And loss could be losing something too. Could be losing a loved one. It could be losing just about anything, misplacing something. And then also on the deceit side, if you have a fear of deceit, maybe you've been through some hard times, you have a hard time trusting other people and stuff like that. That can be relatively good as long as it doesn't affect you trusting the good ones. You have to be open to giving people their fair shake and their fair chance. So that really what comes in for the fear there. And that's probably the best advice I can give you on how to deal with that and how to overcome that. And, just try to, especially if it's illusionary, just don't give it the control. And then as we move into your last position here, number 10, this is the way your month ends. Your month ends with wrapping up some small little issues. A lot of you, this is work related. Not everybody. This could be wrapping up small little issues with the family. I gave you the carpet example, or projects and stuff like that. But this is very largely work, is what they're letting me know for a lot of my Leos. So this is wrapping up some kind of work challenges or issues. Could be even projects that have just been like weighing on you, and you can't wait to get done or get over with it. Or maybe a training, something you're going through training, and you got to just finish this stupid course, and like, oh, I wish it would be over, or whatever it is that they're talking about here that you're wrapping up and kind of getting on the over side of the hump from. It presents itself as good energy. It's much better to be coming out of that energy than going into it. So that's where your March actually wraps up. So there is your Celtic cross. Now, Leo, let's get into your chakra scrub. I did not use that many cards, so I'm going to run the deck as it is, and then I won't have to cut away either. So here we go. Now, when I do this, I like to go top to bottom. I might talk about it in a different order based on what comes up, but at least when I run the cards, we go top to bottom. So here we go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, one major one here. Not really a surprise. Like I said, this chakra scrub has come up for other signs, and this was an issue for other signs as well. I forget which one at this time because there's been so many of them that I've done now. That's the only one I need there. Okay, so I'm going to actually read this top to bottom so we can focus more on number 6 there. That's going to be the trigger of your whole thing. All right, so number 1 is your crown chakra. This is the very, very top. We have action coming in the moon cycles. Basically, your crown chakra is your connection to the solar, the lunar, space radiation, the galaxies, all that stuff out there. They're saying action is coming in here. So follow those moon cycles, specifically with work. You're trying to bring something new into your life. That's work, business, enterprise, area of study, related. Pay attention to the moon cycles. Go back and do that. Get the cheat sheet. Same thing, getting something out of your life with work specifically. They're saying that this month, March, presents really good opportunities to move things in and out of your work corner. Moving down, third eye. Hesitancy to let something go and move past it. So a lot of you might just be feeling like, meditation's not for you, or you've tried it and, it's just not worth your time or whatever. They're actually saying here that, this is an emotional thing. I guess a feeling, the way that you feel about it. You Leos feel very distinctly about this, whether it's one way or the other. It's probably very polarizing. I probably have some Leos that are very much like, meditation's my thing. I love it. I do it every day. I do it once a week, or whatever your frequency is. Or there's other of my Leo who are just like, you know what? It's just not for me. I've tried it. Can't do it. My mind's too chatterbox. Can't do it. So that's very polarizing. That's probably the best way I can say it. So what do you do about that? Oh man, that's tough. Well, this is specifically the third eye chakra. There are meditations that are guided. That's probably the best way if you're having issues with quieting your mind to do it, because that way you can listen and basically follow instructions, listen to what they're telling you to do. There's good stuff like that on YouTube available for free if you want to check that out and pursue it. And that'll get that third eye kind of kicking and, lets stuff come in and out much easier. It's your transmitter, it's your frequency to everything else. Moving down here into your throat. Very strong in the form of communication with your love corner. That's very good. So none of you are really keeping secrets from either your loved ones or your lover or your friends. You're being very kind of draw the line. You're being very good and authoritative here with everybody. Checking in very good. Nothing bad to say about it. Keep that up. When that comes up, you need to keep that up. As we move down into heart, they do show a very good balance with work and heart. So a lot of you are pouring your heart into work. Now, whether that's actually like dedication, or whether that's being empathetic, or just showing love for what you do at work, or for the people you work with, or what, but your heart is basically going into that work corner. We do have a lot of work stuff coming up here for my Leos, so that's just kind of an extension of that. Continuing to move down here. This is your 5 spot here on my little map, my little chart. This is your solar plexus. Your yellow chakra. They're showing growth here, but it's slow growth. This is your willpower and your to-do. Just keep in mind that there are going to be times this is going to continue to grow in the month of March. It's a good growth month, but at the same time, you might not be feeling that way specifically. Things, you might have a hard time getting motivated a little bit and getting the actual willpower to make your free will choices to actually do things. You might be getting a little bit lazy with it. So this is letting you know that you can fight this and you can overcome this. Basically, you will yourself through it. As we move down, this is the big one. I'm actually going to skip down to 7 first. I usually don't do that. I go in order, but I need to spend most time on 6. So we're going to go down to number 7 here. This is your root chakra. Presents itself very good, very well balanced. Paying attention to your feet, that comes up. So make sure, I'm not really sure where they're going with that, but balance is a key here, and basically your lower extremities, also very important. Where else can we go with feet there? It's kind of like, it almost makes me feel a little acupuncture-ish, really. So that might be something that some of you may want to consider, because in the card specifically, in the deck they wanted to use for you guys, it's a bunch of swords pointing at a foot or a toe specifically. So I really feel like that's kind of like has a message to do with points, trigger points there. So that's why I feel acupuncture there. In your root chakra, of course, is your connection at your base of your spine, your arms, your legs, your connection to spiritual on the physical plane side. So let's get to number 6. That is your big one. That is the area they want me to focus on here. This is your emotional center. This is your orange. This is wish fulfillment. They showed me the star card. So this is very much about fate. It's letting you know that your emotional center right now is on a journey. And it's not one that you actually have the levers and controls of. This is just kind of running its course. And it's going the way it's supposed to go. The way that it's been written up. Either that you wrote for yourself before you entered this body, or whether it's just a guided thing and you're being kind of shown the way here from your team, your spirit guide and your team. But it's very strong emotional center month for my Leos. They're also showing me the poised card here, very important. So they want you to use your emotions for good things. Don't let this get turned around. It has that, that boomerang karmic effect if you are on the dark side of emotions, if you're letting emotions bother you and stuff like that. So when I get poise coming in here, they really want you to kind of put yourself on a pedestal. It's almost like be a little bit selfish. That's probably a strong way to put it, but make sure that your emotions are good no matter what. Very important for my Leos to make sure that their emotions stay on the clear path for the month of March. They do not want you to get off course at all. So even if you got to be a little selfish, take a time out from life, from the family, the work, and all the stuff going on. Do what you got to do to make sure that this stays on the up and up, because that is the part that you can control. Everything else that is kind of entering your life as far as what's triggering you emotionally, they're letting me know that you don't necessarily have much control of it. Like I said, the levers are being pulled by momentum and by destiny and fate and stuff like that. So at this time, the things that you can control, try to control. Everything else, you just got to really leave that to God at this point. So that is your chakra scrub. Very good stuff, Leo. A lot of informative stuff that hopefully you guys can use for, to benefit your life and improve it. So that's going to wrap up your entire reading. I want to thank you so much for joining. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos. I do these every single month. I do a mid-month update right in the middle of the month and love readings on the 7th of every single month. So I will see you guys soon. Take care and have a great March.